And then the last thing is our big impact tour coming in August. It is going to be Saturday, August 9th. It's pretty much an all-day event. It's a mini GTC. They come to a variety of different cities in the country, but not all of them, obviously. They've been in Akron for the past 3 years, so that just shows how much our teams are growing. We're really making a name for ourselves in this area. So you want to make sure that you come to that you purchase your ticket to come as soon as it's available, but mark it on your calendar now so you don't miss out. And also mark down the day before, which is Friday the 8th. We're going to offer some kind of opportunity event. So mark that down so you don't miss it. Normally those events are huge because we do have a top 10 income earner of some sort in town in Shelly Nelson, right? Will be here. She's ours. I am like going crazy about that. If you don't know who she is, look her up, read her EOA so you can get excited because she's going to come and share with us that weekend. Okay? So that's it. Who's coming up? Carrie and Danielle. Here they come. And then the last thing is our big impact tour coming in August. All right, so we are so excited about tonight. We're going to do a quick meeting opportunity to a variety of different cities in the country. But not all of them, but we do events every month. The past 3 years, that shows how much our teams are growing. Really making for ourselves in this area. So you want to make sure that you come to that and purchase your tickets. It's available. Mark it on your calendar now so you don't miss out. And also mark down the date before, which is Friday the 8th. We're going to offer some kind of opportunity. We celebrate the accomplishments of all mark that out the building. We also get to share a little bit about the income opportunity with Arbonne with people that are here just checking it out. One of my favorite things about this company, the way that we build our businesses, is that we don't force, convince, bribe, any of that to get people to join our team. We just share the facts and let you decide if you think this is a fit for your family or not. I'll give you a little bit of my background and then I'll turn it over to Carrie. But I actually am coming up on my 9th anniversary with Arbonne. I started when I was in college looking for a way to make $200 a month. Never saw myself doing something like this long term. I was in a desperate situation to make about $200. Had previously been involved in something like this. Thought I learned my lesson, would never do it again, and then Arbonne fell on my lap. It was one of those opportunities that came along that completely changed my life, so I'm forever grateful that I actually took a look at it. But you'll hear when we go through the presentation a lot of the things that really stood out to me, and it has just been the biggest blessing. When I started my business, it was for that initial couple $100, and it's been able to grow as my family has grown. I now live in Uniontown with 3 little girls. I'm about to celebrate my 8th wedding anniversary, and it has completely evolved with our family and provided exactly what we needed at each time. So it's been the biggest blessing for us. Carrie is my sister-in-law, one of my best friends, and she'll share her story. Her introduction was a little bit different than mine and thoughts, and then we'll get into this slideshow.
Okay, well, I was introduced to Arbonne through Danielle when she married my little brother, Ted. And I can remember when Ted came, Ted and I were in college together, and I remember him coming to my dorm room and being like, I'm so in love. And he had met Danielle, and we didn't know really anything about her, and they quickly got engaged and decided that they were going to be married, and then we found out that she did one of those kind of things, and that she was in this business called Arbonne. And we were all kind of like, oh, great, here we go. This is one of those things that, you don't want to be involved with, and she's probably going to, like, pester our aunts and, everyone in our family. And we're like, and she's married in, so what are we going to do? So we started using the products really and truly just to support her. We always joke about how my mom's like, Ted's got to eat. We got to buy these products so that we can, so that he can support himself. And so we started using the products, and I've always really struggled with my skin, battled acne and severe allergic reactions to different cosmetics, and started using Arbonne's products and absolutely fell in love with the products. My skin completely changed. I was really excited about that. I never saw myself becoming a consultant other than to get the best discount, because I was went to school to get my American Sign Language interpreting degree, and then I went right on after that to get my master's in education. I loved the track that I was headed on. I was super excited about making a difference in people's lives through that career path. And so I was really excited about that, although I did really love the products. My whole family had really great experiences with the products. So we were like, okay, we love your products. Like, you totally sold us on those. And then we watched her just in such an authentic, genuine way. If anybody knows Danielle, you know just like the heart that she has, and she's just so compassionate and cares for people, and she was able to build this incredibly awesome business in a way that totally defied what we thought it was. And just to see her build a business by truly helping people use products that they love was just something really cool to see. And a year after she started her business, she promoted to the level where you get your white Mercedes and the average income is about $5,000 to $8,000 a month. We like to say that it was at that time that we stopped making fun of her cute little hobby. We were like, wait, what are you doing? And so fast forward then, I was going to grad school, finishing that up. I was married and found out that we were pregnant with our first. And we were not planning on having children that early on, but we were really excited about it. But I found myself in a position where I was really praying for options. And I was already referring people to the products because I loved them so much, and we do that naturally anyways. And so I remember Danielle saying, like, you know, you realize this is really all that I do. You're just sending them to me, and you could be doing this. So I decided to give it a try, and that, you know, my oldest is now 4.5, and it was the best decision that I could have ever made. And I just absolutely love this company, and we are exploding. Last month was record-breaking for the Danielle Lawver success line, and there's just a lot of real excitement, and it is such just a true, genuine opportunity. And so we're just going to real quickly share with you why that is and why we are having the success that we are. So what we do is we educate people about the difference. That's one of the things I love, is that we're able to say why Arbonne stands apart from anything else on the market, and we empower people to make the choice for themselves, and so we give people that chance. Our ingredient policy, this is what sets us apart. We're pure, safe, and beneficial, and people are looking for this type of product now. You are what you absorb. This is one of the things I really started learning about, especially being on very chemically based acne treatments for my skin. What you put on your skin every day absorbs within your bloodstream and affects all of your major organs. And the educational piece is definitely getting out there, and people are starting to be more consumer savvy and looking for healthier options. And so, again, this is part of what sets us apart, is that we're able to say all of these things. And so because of this, we are on the cutting edge of research, development, and producing these really incredible products. This is another really great thing. There's over 200 products. I think we're like double that now. But there's something for everyone. And that's one of the things that I love. You are not offering a product line to one specific category or group of people. It does not matter the gender. It doesn't matter how old. There's products for the babies, for the moms, for the dads. And that's one of the things I love, is you can switch your whole family's product line over to the Arbonne brand. And you can see the results. People love these products because they actually work like they did for our family. Okay, so now we're going to kind of transition into the business side, and a lot of people will sit down with us to learn more about this opportunity. And one of the first things that I hear out of most people's mouths is, I'm not a salesperson. I hate selling things. And what I love about this opportunity is that we're simply teaching people how to take the money that they're already spending, because everybody showers, everybody brushes their teeth, everybody washes their face, puts makeup on. Well, most people put makeup on. And we're just showing people how to take that money and transition it to a healthier option, shop at a discount from your own store, and make money by sharing these products with other people. So it's a no-brainer. I love the fact that we're already using these products, and we can just show people how to easily transition them into their own homes. Network marketing is our means of distribution. A lot of people right now are really starting to seek out amazing companies in the Drug Sales Association because they want to be a part of this industry. When I started 7 or 9 years ago, it was still kind of taboo. People were like, oh, it's one of those things where they're going to take you in the basement, lock the doors, and not let you out until you purchase a huge package. And this is the first time, I'd say this last 2 years, where people are becoming educated on this industry, and they're looking for good companies that they can partner with. So basically what network marketing is just a way to get the products from the manufacturer to the consumer. And if you look at that top line right there, that's where traditional resale goes. It has to go through all of those different avenues before you can actually go to Target and buy something off of the shelf. Where in network marketing, you actually get to cross out all of those middlemen and take that money that you're saving and put it back into research and development for a really good quality product, and also back into the consultant's pockets as a thank you for recommending the products. These are a few of the men that really are starting to endorse network marketing. There's several more, but these are the most well-known. And it's so cool to be a part of something where you've got incredible business icons that are also endorsing this industry.
So that's really neat. The one, my favorite is the top right, Paul St. Closer. He's the gentleman that predicted the big .com boom. He said if you have any extra money, invest it in Google, eBay, Amazon, and those that did are obviously very happy right now. And his next prediction is that the next 10 million millionaires are going to come from either health and wellness, or health and wellness and anti-aging, or network marketing. And if you can find a company that combines them both, you're set, and that's what Arbonne is. Here's a few stats. I'm not going to read through them all, but I love these stats. It shows the power of this business. I love that every 12 seconds somebody's starting a business. So if you say that there's not people out there looking for you for this type of opportunity, that's totally wrong. I love that 20% of all home-based businesses make between $100,000 and $500,000 a year. That's a huge statistic, and in my family, there are 5 of us in that statistic, which I think is pretty powerful. In this room, I know that there's 7 or 8 of us. So it just shows that if you're willing to put in the work and that sweat equity, you can have an incredible business. And then I'll finish with this and pass it back to you, Carrie. But we have a proven system. So I didn't start my business and say, I'm going to figure out all these awesome presentations and slideshows and all this stuff and come up with this brilliant system. It was already in place. I just plugged myself into it. And everybody that's experiencing success is doing that exact same thing. So if it's something that you decide, okay, this is for me, I want to start my own business, we show you exactly how to do that, and everything's already done for you. One of the things that I loved about Arbonne is that there's no need to stock or deliver. That was a big negative with my last experience. I was living in a college dorm room, had no room for an inventory. I think my mom still has inventory for my first business venture in her closet. So no need to stock or deliver. No need to pack my 3 girls in the car and drive around town delivering products, because Arbonne ships them directly to them. Thank God, Carrie said. No, we would be the worst consultants if we had to deliver products. It would not happen. You would give us money and never see products. Consumable. This is huge. If you are comparing companies, this is one thing you really have to look for, because if you have a consumable product, you are generating customers for life. If you have a product that's a one-time use, lifetime guarantee, a lot of those products are amazing, and I use several of them, but if it has a lifetime guarantee, I don't want to sell it, because I'm constantly looking for new customers. Over my 9 years, I've been able to build up a huge consumer base, and on a monthly basis, I do thousands and thousands of dollars of just customers getting on their own computers in their own homes, whether I'm sleeping, eating dinner with my family, playing outside with my kids, and reorder. And that credits me because I introduced them to this company. And then lastly, those 2 things, you're able to build this alongside your current job. So none of us are going to say, oh my gosh, join my team, quit your job, I'll have you replace your income in the next 3 weeks. You build this in, the nooks and crannies, you fit it in where you can, and then as your business grows, you're able to cut back in different areas.
All right, I love this slide because this picture here on the left shows that this is an image of how network marketing works. And I see this to be so true in my business. A lot of people will say, I could never do what you do because I just don't know enough people. Or if they find out, about that I have the Mercedes, they're like, you must know a ton of people. You get that all the time. But it's not really about who you know, it's about who they know too. And if you have a few key people that will help you get started, it does just branch out like that. And it keeps referring people, people of the products and refer them to other people. And so your organization just continues to grow. If you look at the image on the right, that shows what corporate America is like. And you have typically a CEO of a company who leverages his time off the president, off the vice president, off middle management, and off the employees. But there's only that one spot for the CEO, and unless he or she passes away or retires or gets fired, there's only that one spot that's open, and everybody's kind of fighting for that one spot. But in network marketing, everybody starts as a consultant. It's a completely equal playing field, and everybody has the same opportunity to advance and become a vice president with this company. And that's one of the things that I absolutely love, is just the opportunity that it gives everybody across the board. And it is a ground floor opportunity. We have been named by other companies as the best kept secret, because although it is growing very quickly, there's still so many people that have never even heard of Arbonne. Only 1% of people in the United States have ever even heard of it, which is awesome for people that are sharing it, because there's so much room for growth, and there's so many people that still have yet to hear about Arbonne. And we're just on the brink of expanding globally, and that's going to be huge for us too. And they told us in Vegas that we are just leaps and bounds climbing up the charts of the top network marketing companies, so that's really exciting too. So this is how the compensation works. I know a lot of people really want to pay attention here because a lot of people want to know how do you make money, and there's several different ways. You can read those at the top. Arbonne spoils us so much in this company. It is crazy. We get to go on these incredible 5-star vacations just for building our businesses. You get the paychecks every month. You get the Mercedes program. You get jewelry. You get so recognized and appreciated. When you're at the VP level, you get things for Thanksgiving and Christmas and birthdays, and I think it was probably about the 3rd time that the delivery man showed up with roses that I stopped calling my husband and being like, thank you. And he was like, I didn't send you anything. Oh yeah, it was our fun again. Took me a while to get used to that. But yeah, now the guys have realized that they don't have to do that anymore because our fun does. So anyway, everybody starts as a consultant. And the first level of management then is district manager. The average right now is 1 to 5 months. Especially in our organization, we're seeing that more happen in 1 to 3 months. And the average income is about $240 to $1,500 a month. And I love that because right out of the starting gate, you're helping people, make that mortgage payment or that car payment. The second promotion then is area manager. 5 to 11 months is the average right now. $1,200 to $3,000 is the average income. My favorite thing about that level is that your business becomes willable. I don't know of any other company that is set up this way, and I think there's so many things that set Arbonne apart, and this is one of them. Our founder was all about empowering people to leave legacies. So you build this business not only for you, but for your kids and their kids. You can will your business and your residual income from people jumping online and ordering products and continuing to share products even after you're gone. You can will it up to 4 generations, and I just think that's so powerful. The third promotion then is regional vice president. This is sort of the cornerstone promotion because this is where you get that shiny new white Mercedes. And you have the cash bonus for the Mercedes program. About 1 to 3 years, $5,000 to $8,000 a month is the average income for that level. And then the top level is national vice president. $21,500 a month. You get an even bigger cash bonus for your Mercedes. And about 3 to 5 years is the average right now. Danielle and I just promoted to that top level at the end of last year. She promoted before I did. And we used to come to these events, you guys, and hear that and see that income average and be like, there's no way. Like, there's probably 3 people in the whole company that have ever done that. But if you do just plug into the system, it's just a matter of time, and it's just incredible, especially right now, to see how quickly people are promoting and having success. And I know that I can speak for both of us when I say there is nothing that I could have done, even with my 2 degrees, that would allow me to be present in my children's lives and be home with them every day and still make this kind of income and allow my family to have the choices that they do. So a few things as we wrap it up here. Where will you be in 5 years if you keep doing what you're doing? Because for most of us, we're going to live out the definition of insanity, which is that you keep doing the same thing over and over again but expecting different results. I knew that my 5-year plan was not what I wanted it to be because I wanted to have more time, but I also didn't want to give up the income that I was making. So just ask yourself that, and if you like what that looks like, where you will be 5 years from now, if you keep down the same path, then that's great. Maybe Arbonne is just more of a fit for you product-wise, but if you want something to change, this could be an incredible opportunity to empower you to make that change. The second thing is, how long could you survive on your current savings if you were to lose your main source of income? For a lot of people, that's a little bit daunting to think about that. But for a lot of people, this starts as a plan B that turns into a plan A because it surpasses your original expectations. So keep in mind, we all have a personal network, like Danielle said. Most people have never even heard of Arbonne, but they will, and we see this happen all the time. They will hear about it, so you could be the one that shares with them these products and this opportunity. So we just ask you, if you are a guest in the room and you came here just to check it out, we thank you so much for coming and for being here. Just let the person know that invited you. If you, after hearing a little bit more about it, if you're a 1, 2, or 3, 1 is really interested in the products because we can help you figure out the best way. There's great ways to get discounts on products. A 2 is I'm interested in products and very intrigued by the business, but I need a little bit more information. Thing is, I'm in, I would love to start a business. What does that look like? Tell me how to get started, and we can help you with that as well. Okay. We're going to head into recognition next. This is my favorite part of the evening because you guys get to see
you know, it's so easy to come to these things and see a couple people standing in front of the room that have had success, but when you can see, you'll see the lines up here. It just makes it seem so much more exciting. So we're going to go through some different categories here, and if you are a regional vice president, go ahead and come up front and help us congratulate everybody. And I do want to say, if you have not yet purchased raffle tickets and you want some, we are going to have a quick break right after this before Patrice comes up. And where are the raffle girls? Raise hands. Okay, there we go. If you are going to get tickets, get your money out. It's, what is it, 3 tickets for, no, I don't know, $1 each. $7, so 7 tickets for $5. That's all we're going to tell you. Just if you want to get your money. Okay, find one of those ladies, and we're going to do raffle quick at the end of the break. Hold it up. Okay, so you heard us talking about the 4 different income levels. Now you're going to be able to see the people that are actually achieving those different levels. We're going to hear from some of our managers, and then we'll go over who has earned bonuses and who's going to be going courtesy of Argonne to Los Cabos here in October. Every year they send us on the most incredible trips, and we just finished earning that trip at the end of May. So we're so excited to celebrate that. And we're going to start with the really quiet. Okay, so we're going to start with those that earned the trip, okay? So I have a little story. We like to give things out for people that earn trips. I think I know this. So if you earn the trip and I don't call your name, you can just stand up and straight. But I had, today threw me off. Close nights for Argonne, the end of the month, are always a little crazy. I stay up until 3 o'clock in the morning helping people. I have not recovered, so I was having a crazy day getting ready for the meeting. I got a credit card, I got a call from my credit card company that said, did you just authorize a charge for $3,800 for a limousine? I was like, Ted? What are you doing? Why are you so scared? No, I did not. So I was on the phone with them trying to fix all of that. And then I was like, oh, I need to get something for the ladies that earned the trip. So I went to Giant Eagle to pick up my flowers. They didn't have flowers, so we got these ones. And I was walking to go get stuff, and I slipped, fell flat on my face in a dress, okay, in Giant Eagle. One heel went that way, the other heel went this way. Nobody stopped to help me. So I stood up. My ankle really hurts. But I couldn't find anything for people that earned the trip except toothbrush holders. This is what we got. And all of us have them. You better use these as much problems so I can be angry. Okay, so I grew up camping every summer. That was our vacation, right? That was the best. We had 5 girls, and he was always like, camping is so fun. I'm like, so well. So has totally changed our traveling world for us. We are totally spoiled. And there's several of us that are going to Los Cabos, and they are a lot of my family, which is so exciting because where else can somebody else pay for your vacation and you still get to go with your mother-in-law, your sister-in-law, your sister, and tons of grandbabies. So Mickey, we'll give it to you first. Which color would you like? She earned the trip, and she loved it, but she always
puts on such a good face when we show up to her relaxing vacations with all of the grandbabies because it's not very relaxing for her, but she loves it.
But there are 2 weeks I could choose a different.
I said, you might want to choose that we're not there.
I won't.
Emily, Ryan earned it. Yes. And I get to say, they also let you earn spending cash. So Mickey Lawver also earned $1,000 of spending cash, which was really cool. Alicia Michaela. Come on. Okay, so she started in last September or this September? Okay, never mind. First year and she earned her first trip, which is awesome. So have a toothbrush over. Heather Ivan is here. Heather Ivan is not here. No? Okay. I was going to say, that makes me nervous. She's always here. She earned one. And this was also her first trip that she's going to be going on, which is so exciting. Nikki Smith in Illinois earned it and also earned $1,000. And then Carrie and I will be going as well. And Amy Godak earned it, but cannot be with us because of her job. But you can have a toothbrush over. I don't need one. I love you. Anybody else in the room? And Amanda. Oh, Amanda. Yeah, you earned it. Come get a toothbrush holder. I don't need one. Come on. Oh, she was 30 weeks. Yes. Oh, I love it. Love it. Okay, congratulations, ladies. So fun. If you haven't earned one of those trips, you have to, because it's especially, this is my little soapbox moment, earn it for your spouses, because I have never met an unsupportive spouse that has gone on a trip and come back unsupported. So when you earn these trips and show your family what's possible, it's amazing. And Karen and I just experienced when you promote to Nation, you get to go to Maui every single January for free with a guest. And it was so cool for us to be able to get off the plane with our husbands, because the MVP qualification was a little chaotic. And just say, like, we have a week together, we didn't have to pay a dime, and it was so much fun. And they don't take you on chintzy vacations, and they give you gifts, they wine you and dine you, it's amazing. So we will be learning very quickly where the next location is. Okay. All right, so our first category is in qualification for district manager. So when we read your name, please come on up and get a flower and high five our lovely ladies here. These are the people that are in qualification for district manager, which is the first level of management. So when I read your name, just go ahead and come on up and file through. And I'm really sorry if I mispronounce your name, but I will do my best. Heather Schock, Stephanie Fox, Jenny Murphy, Maria Waterhouse, Kelly Ramsey, Michelle Ganelli, Faith Steppick, Kathy Bowl, Kelly McAdams, Angela Franklin, Stephanie Lyon, Amber Rohr, Jessica Vidarelli, Olivia Finley, Caitlin Barr, Amber Tamalawalik, Nicole Hitchman, Sarah May, Cindy Jacob, Charity O'Reilly, Yolanda McKay, Lynette Patrick, Kelly Cooper, Amanda Matthews, Melissa Featheroff, Kelly Richards, Allison Craddock, Morgan Combs, Bonnie Godak, Sarah Godak, Danae Grant, Kelsey Donnelly, Ashley Lee, Jennifer Yeager, Morgan Miller, Rebecca Ewert, Cindy Lyons, Katrina Nistello, Diana Torella, Rita Dow, Shelby Mitchell, Isabel Ayers, Deb Sweekle, Kelly Shook, Julie Miller, Danny Ashcraft, Kathy Ray, Lauren Kankowski, Stephanie Watson, Megan Houston, Missy Peter, Nancy Collins, Daniela Colby, Abby Lindquist, Shannon Quinzel, Tammy Damon, Libby Walt, Sue Murray, Caitlin Barr, Alicia McShane, Catherine Duckles, Amanda Montello, Christy Conley, Christina Easy, Elise Itapa, Ashley Miller, Nikki Kessler, Becky Bell, Mary Jo Ralston, Maureen Andrews, Victoria Kessler. got to split the meeting. It's a good problem to have. A lot of people having a lot of success. And congratulations to all those. Now we're going to, next categories will be shorter list. Now we're going to have those that finish their promotion to district manager come up, and we're going to give them their gifts for actually finishing the promotion and hear a little bit from them. So, Kristen Temzik, you guys come on up and stay up. Kristen Temzik, Susan Midcap, Natalie Hugland, Amanda Dukes, Leslie, sorry, hold on, my page just moved. Leslie Rosales, Chrissy Gilbride, Lauren Patrick, Erin Kramer, Jamie Collinstein, Melanie Brown, Tina Lindquist, Nicole Aspenson. You ladies would come on up front. All right, so district manager is a really big deal because if you can promote to district, then you can promote to the top level of this company. Because once you promote to district, really all it is turning around and helping other people do what you just did. So we're going to have these lovely ladies share real quick their name, their background, what they do outside of our run, just a little bit about yourself, and what is one thing that you're really excited about here.
All right, hi, my name is Kristen Temzik. Amanda Light is my sponsor. I'm actually a registered nurse. I work in surgery down at Mercy Medical Center in Canton. I kind of got started with Arbonne. Amanda talked me into doing a Fitbit, and then she talked me to come to a meeting, and then I'm like, hey, this is kind of a good idea. You know, I'd like to supplement my income and, you know, support my family. So I just decided to jump in and start, and it's been 3.5 months, and I'm really pumped for this promotion. So I'm super excited about that, and I'm super excited about growing my business because I did this all by myself. So I can do it, you can do it, and I want to build my team now.
My name is Amanda Dukes. Lawver is my sponsor, and let me tell you, I couldn't ask for a better sponsor. She's been absolutely amazing. I got in this because at the time I had got laid off from my job, so I'm like, well, crap, I need something to do, and clearly I'm about to have this baby, so nobody's hiring me. I'm like, okay, so I'm like, well, maybe I can find something to stay at home. I prefer to be at home. I have a 4-year-old too. So me and my husband were like talking, so I just put on Facebook about how I needed a stay-at-home job, and of course Laura, she comments right away. She goes right at it, and so I agreed to meet up with her, and I took my husband because I was important for him to know about the business as well. It's the greatest decision ever. He's been like the best support of life. I cannot imagine this level without him. I'm most excited because it gives me the opportunity to do something I never thought I'd do, which is to stay home with my kids and to do something that I've actually fell in love with so quickly. And I tell people all the time, this isn't my work. It's just like me going around, hanging out, let's go chill, relax, so I can tell you and help you live a healthier life. So, yeah.
Can I just say, she's having a baby in like 7 days, right?
Yep.
So she's promoted in a month and a half, right when she's giving her birth, or give birth to the baby. Most people wouldn't do that stuff. Right.
Hi, everybody. I'm Chrissy Gilbride. I'm a veterinary technician for the last 15 years, and it took me a year to get here, which I'm okay with. Heidi DeVault is my sponsor, and my best friend, and this really quick story, but I'll just tell this. Heidi and I, in 6th grade, this made me think of it. We got the duty of putting the flags on every day at elementary school, and when we started, oh, it was a fiasco. We, like, a half an hour we were out there, dropped that flag 50 times on the ground, had these huge hooks. It was so hard to do, and we finally got it up, and it was upside down. But after a while, we got perfect at it, and we to the point where we would just hang out outside until we were done. And I think of this business that way. I think it's okay. I think it's a marathon, not a race, like we always say. And I feel so much comfortable now, and I've come so far in a year that I feel like, okay, now I can really do it. It just took a lot of practice and a lot of time, and
So proud of you.
But I'm just so excited to go. Who cares if it took me a year? We're coming in 5 years. Way farther than I ever would have done.
I'm Melanie Brown, and I've actually been on this Arbonne journey for about 18 months. I'll tell my story here in a moment. But background about me, I work at Pitt State. I'm an instructor there, and I've been doing that for the past, like, 8 or 9 years. And I have 3 kids. I have an 8-year-old, 6-year-old, and a 6-month-old. And so Suzuki is my sponsor. I guess, like you were saying about the journey, I actually was district pretty quick in my journey, and I, not because I couldn't do it, because I made a different decision than to work my business. And graciously, they took me back, and I came back basically as I was about to have Clara, and that was in October. And so I guess what I wanted to share is that it definitely is a journey and a process, and something that really hit home for me was this winter when Danielle was out in Maui on her vacation, and I was sitting at home. It was dead of winter, and I was basically begging for my job because in higher ed you have to write a letter about why they should keep you in your job, and it's really hard to do. You have to like say all these things about yourself, and you're like, I'm just doing my job. And I just thought about that, and I was like, Danielle's been on this journey for 8 years, and I've been at Kent State for 8 years, in the exact same time. She's in Valley, and I'm sitting here begging for my job. So it really was an aha moment for me to say, hey, I can do this, and just keep doing it, and it's definitely, obviously, it's something that is working, and it's an awesome business plan, so I just really think when that happened. So anyway, loving my journey and building my team, and can't wait to put area.
My name is Jamie Valentine, and I've been a speech therapist for 6 years, wife for almost 3 years, and I've been a mom for 10 months. Home with dad right now. I'm both doing that. I hope. And Amy is my sponsor and my closest friend. I'm from this area originally, and my husband's from the area, and our husbands are best friends. And so coming up, I was really nervous, and I'm like, this is fine, that's great. But I can hang out with Amy, but it might as much be fun. So she just really started growing her business, and then eased me into it. And oddly enough, right now I haven't earned a lot of the perks. It's been a lot of just hope and joy here from everybody else's perks that they've earned where I'm at. But I really enjoy connecting with people that I haven't talked to in years, like high school friends and people I went to grad school with. So I just enjoy having Arbonne be the catalyst to connect.
All right, thanks, ladies. One more round of applause for our new district manager. Okay, so then that second promotion is area manager. That's where your business is willable, and we have several ladies in qualification for area managers. We're going to have them come up and get a flower. Jen Nidcap. Flowers. Oh, get flowers. Get flowers. We'll come up with something. Okay. So, Jen Nidcap, come on up for a high five. Becky Blanking, Sadie Anderson. And then we have 2 incredible women who from them, Cindy Padovic and Jen Bronner. And Amy Stevens.
Jen, Jen, how long have you been doing Arbonne?
I launched in March.
She launched in March. So she started in an area where people thought Arbonne wouldn't work, and she put her nose down and got to work, and here she is. So, Jen.
Background, okay, so I work at a small private university in New Concord, Ohio, so there's only one, so if you look on the map, you'll be able to figure out which one I'm talking about. I am the alumni director there, and I live there with my husband and my 9-year-old twins, Izzy and Ty, who were born on Christmas Day. I am absolutely loving this, and for lots of reasons, the products obviously are fantastic. I have an incredible leader in Kane. I have a super incredible team who jumped in with me when I didn't really know the difference between launching and foot soaps, and they jumped in and allowed me to learn as I taught them, and so I'm super proud to be watching my team grow, and they always say plug in. We've got a system that works. I absolutely agree with that, but for me, I really started emotional. I've just really somebody posted a quote from Mark Batterson this week, and I absolutely circled this business in prayer. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Cindy Cadwick. I live in Brunswick. I have a husband of 11 years and 2 little girls, Emily who's 9 and Grace who's 7. And it's because of my oldest daughter's horrible eczema that brought me into this business. And not that I wanted to have a horrible thing, but because of it, I got to meet all these wonderful people and try some incredible products that really changed our lives tremendously. I have very much enjoyed my journey thus far. I've been doing Arbonne since November, and I love this company. I am a pediatric emergency nurse at Fairview in Cleveland, and going to work every day has really weighed on me quite a bit lately. I pretty much live and breathe the hospital. I'm on a numerous amount of committees there that take up a lot of my time and has taken me away from my family. And Arbonne has made me realize that I can make more than I make at the hospital and be at home to see my daughters grow up and spend time with my husband. So I'm hoping to go region. Hopefully, my goal, scary goal, at Christmas time. So I don't know if it'll happen. If it doesn't, it's okay. But that's my big scary goal because I want to be a wife and a mom again. I feel like that's a part of me that's been gone, and I feel really awful about it. So Arbonne's going to bring that back to me, and I'm really, really excited, and I'm really proud of my team. They're really shy, so.
I'm Amy Stevens, and I'm a part of Carrie Scott's success line. And I've been in the business for about 5 years, something like that, when my mom jumped in. And I promoted to district manager twice, lost it twice. And it took me a long time to really believe in my abilities and to really believe in what Arbonne truly is. And so this past year, I moved up here to Stowe and got a teaching position at Talmadge Elementary, Evan Rowe, and my life has been completely changed in moving there. And I absolutely love my job, but I absolutely love helping people. And so I got the idea from one of my coworkers, Christy, she goes, Amy, you need to do a nutrition workshop. And so I did, and I saw a difference in my coworkers. And that's where my business boomed. And I started doing teacher workouts and training them along with the products. And I went to district manager, and then lo and behold, I met Miranda Burcham and Deanna Osborne at GTC, and they're like, Amy, you need to go area, let's go. And the business and the positivity of Arbonne has blown me away. I've surrounded my business in prayer. I really believe this is what I'm supposed to be doing. I didn't know how I was going to get to area because I'm a teacher, I'm a head coach, I play professional volleyball, and I train my teachers at school. And I didn't know how I was going to get there, but thanks to my team and my sister and my mom, we got there, and I can't wait to go Rigid. So.
Okay, so our next category. Okay, so our next category is those that are halfway to regional vice president. We just want you to stand up and give us a little holler. Amanda Leidick, Michelle Zavoda. Awesome job, ladies. That means that in the next few months, those girls are going to get up here for promoting to regional vice president and getting their Mercedes. We have one awesome lady who's in qualifications for regional vice president, and Stephanie Freeman. Come on up. Stephanie is my neighbor. She lives right across the street from me. Right across. I ran over to our hair dryer because mine blew really fast. And tell you, it's been a week. She is one of the most incredible, classy women I've ever had the privilege of knowing. And she'll share a little bit about her story, but we have similar journeys. We have lots of ups, lots of downs, and she has been like, we always call her the dark horse because she is quiet, but man, is she intentional. And when she wants to do something, she will get it done. And she has fought her way to this promotion. Her team is fabulous. And I know we're going to finish up this month, but I just want you to share whatever you want to share.
I totally was not prepared, but I am married. I have 2 boys. I have been doing this 5 years. I'm not sure. But like Christy and Mel said, it has been a journey for me, and it hasn't been quick. I started very scared, and I lost my consulting status actually. And then but she fought for that. And then I did. I fought for that. I became district area, lost my area, fought for it back, and here we are today, and I have a team. We all locked arms this month, and saw so many promotions and qualifications and bonuses, so I'm just so proud of you guys, and I'm ready to go region with you, so.
I'm a cheap sponsor.
She, month after month, we would go for a party and it would just be like, oh, it's so close, I can taste it. And I'd be like, let's do something to do it. Like, let me buy something. So I said, no, gonna have it when it's supposed to happen. They used to try me crazy. And she did it last month and she ended up over 45,000. So she, with bonuses. So if you earn a cash bonus from Arbonne, they give you cash bonuses at each level. You can earn a $200, a $400, or $600 bonus. It's just another way to thank you for doing your job. If you earn a bonus of any type from Arbonne this month, will you please stand? Look at that. Every month, so way to go. All right. Okay, so that's it for recognition. We are going to take a very, very, very quick break. You know what? Are you sure? Okay. We're going to do a quick break raffle. If you want tickets, stand up right now. We can get you tickets. Oh, look at all those. Okay. So the ticket ladies are going to go sell you some tickets. And then we're going to be back here in like 3 minutes and know all the numbers and awesome prizes. last number that we draw is going to be for the Face Day New Cosmetics Set. So, first number, 808523. 808523. Going once. There she is in the back. My one rule is you have to make noise. So you have to make 808242. 242. 808. I already keep saying that. 469. 469. Next one. 808470.
Take to the bottom. What's up, girl?
You don't have 808. You can stop with one left. I have 831s. 083186. Oh. 083072. Stand up if you want something. Yay! All the way in the back. Dig into the bottom. 083052. 052. 808507. I heard them. 808317. Give it in your workout. Your trust. 083099. 083166. That's me. I'm digging, guys. I want the palette for this last one. It's on. 808389. I swear I said that. No, I didn't. 808389. 083033. 083033.
You haven't called mine yet. Call mine. Look.
Here you go. 808499. 499. Nobody has 499. Over there. Stand up. 083103. There she is. 083024. Still loves my name. 808397. Amy, how many you got? One. Oh my gosh. 808544. 544. 80, right in the back. Woo. 083049. 049. There she is. 808472. 808491. No, 808. 08361. In the back, pink shirt. How many more do we have, guys? Amy. How many we have? 2 left? 3. 808305.
Woo! Again. The time? 808, 308. That's me too. Okay, so the last ticket goes to this pretty box donated by Miss Lawver. Thank you. Drum roll, please. A lot of pressure. Carrie, don't mess it up. A lot of pressure. A lot. Drawn by Carrie Kane. 808, 268. Okay. All right. Thank you for participating in the raffle. We are going to bring up our special guest speaker now. You guys have not heard Patrice before. You're in for a treat. Right. She is an internationally known speaker, trainer, consultant. One of the things I love, two of the things I love about Patrice, this is not the first time we've had her here. I'm so glad that she came back. But first thing I love is that she has got the biggest heart, and you'll know that when you hear her talk. She's so easy to listen to, and the tips that she's going to give you guys are implemented in your business will explode. And she just gives you really great, easy ways to do the things that we all have to do to build successful businesses. The second reason I love her is because she has built her own really successful business in this industry prior to now coaching and training us. So she knows how to build a business in this industry. We know that we're getting really great tips from somebody who's done it. And the third reason is because she looks like my mom. So I feel like my mom's here. Okay, so everybody give Miss Patrice Madison a very nice warm applause.
Well, are you excited about your Arbonne business?
Woo!
Yeah. Yes. Are you ready to work less and make more?
Yes.
Isn't yes a great word? Yes. We want to hear a lot of yeses in our business, especially this summer. We're in June. You know, I was surprised that it was June. And just first, how many of you have never heard me before? Just so I know. Oh my gosh. Wow. Okay. Let me introduce myself a little bit. My name is Patrice Madison, and I worked and had a business just like you. It was an educational toy company, and as Danielle was sharing, my company's products were guaranteed for life. So they were not consumable, so I became kind of the queen of prospecting. We'll talk a little bit about prospecting. So when I sold my product, I knew that it was going to last them forever. And I started a home-based business when I had a 2-month-old and a 2-year-old, and grew that business until for 18 years with one company, and I was with another company for 2 years. They want to launch a new company. And grew those children up. I have 3 children, and 2 of them are married, and I have 4 grandchildren. So you're also supposed to say, oh, you look too young. Yes, I do. So I'm really excited to be working with Arbonne, and how that happened was go back about 17 years, and I was working at home one day, getting ready to make my phone calls, which sometimes was very hard for me to do. And the phone rang, and it was a cold call. I was being called out of the phone book. And when I picked up the phone, I stayed on it. And when I put it down, he booked an appointment with me. And I thought, this gentleman is really good, because he kept me on the phone and he booked an appointment with me. The next day I was driving to meet him, and I was thinking, he really is skilled, because I'm keeping the appointment. And that day changed my life and my business. I met a gentleman who had come from the Marines and was selling insurance, and came up with some processes to become a great salesperson and great on the phone. And he went from the bottom of his agency to a top of a 4-state region in 1 year. And his secretary said, you should share these with home-based businesses. And he didn't even know what a home-based business was. So she opened the phone book. This is how long ago it was. There was a phone book. She opened the phone book and she said, call this person, call this person, call this person. And he dialed me cold call. He shared with me these tips. I've been speaking. I had a successful business, and he shared with me some tips that I had never ever heard. So I went back to my team, and I said, okay, who wants to just try this with me? And it was July, so about this time of year, and 5 of us, so just like one little script here, 5 of us ventured into these processes and techniques. And in 2 months, we recruited 62 business builders to our team, which would be like this whole section. Like we went from this one little row to this whole section doing these processes and principles. One girl had a team of 0 and went to 35 people on her team. 4 of the 5 of us promoted our rank. We were one of the top 3 teams in the nation. I personally sponsored 24 people. We were Circle of Excellence. We were President's Club. We had jewelry. We had all of these exciting things, and it was because of these simple steps for telephoning, fact-finding, and of course, everybody wanted to know what I was doing. You know, it's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And I started sharing that, and this is interesting. I was in the East Coast, on the East Coast, sharing with a Kane company. And at the break, 2 people came up to me, and they said, we're not with this company. We're with Arbonne, and we're spying on you. And they had actually heard about me and had snuck into the meeting and gave me their cards. It was 2 MVPs. And this was back in '02, so 12 years ago. So I started speaking to different Arbonne groups. And about 5 years ago, Arbonne brought me into their corporate office and did a video. You can still get it. It's in your business guide. It's called the Activity Management Tools. They did a DVD with my workbook and my telephone techniques, and I designed your Arbonne calendar. Anybody have the Arbonne calendar? That actually has my system in it, and if you open the front cover, there's a CD of me in the front cover, but they kind of covered it with a piece of paper. So anyway, for 2 years with Arbonne, every single new person in the Arbonne business got all of that information in their packet. So for 2 years, I was part of the starter kit. Anybody come in during that time? Wow, oh, probably. Great, so they got that. So I've just been really blessed to be able to work with Arbonne. I was a keynote speaker at their Australian convention about 3 years ago, and I got to go back and speak again with their leaders in all across Canada, and I've also gotten to be in Sweden and Copenhagen. So love sharing. I still love Arbonne the best. In fact, my dialogue is just a brand new area manager. So very excited. And she's hoping to get her car. She's a physician's assistant, wants to stay home with the 2 eventually. So just a little bit about me. And I usually train on telephone techniques, but what I'm going to train on tonight is summer survival, because I want to help you to have a great, great summer. So I hope that you all have your handouts. And I have just 5 topics, quick topics, that I want to share with you to help you survive the summer. The first one is to be clear. Did everyone get a handout? There should be some also in the back. If you don't want it to raise your hand real quick, and of course, going to get those out. We need to talk about them in a minute. And while they're coming, you can kind of look on a little bit. Mark Twain said, the secret of getting ahead is getting started. The secret of getting started is breaking your complex, overwhelming tasks into small, manageable tasks, and then starting on the first one. There's going to be a lot of distractions over the summer. I know I've gone through many summers with little people around, and there's just a lot of things happening. And it takes discipline to get from point A to point B. One author said we need to have macro goals and micro goals. So our macro goal is, where do you want to be in September, or even a bigger goal, where would you like to be by the end of the year? So a lot of us already have those. We don't think about that. But what a lot of us miss out on are the micro goals. And the micro goals are what you're going to do every single day to take you to that goal. In the system that I train, we actually keep track of every dial that we make. There is a little box of dots in a calendar, and the calendar, again, if you have the Arbonne calendar, has a little box of dots. Anybody have you seen the Arbonne calendar? There's actually a little box of dots. And every day when I dial, I make a dot in the box. In the 17 years of tracking this business, your business will be unbelievable. I want to ask you, how many dials do you think you need every day to have your business enter perpetual forward motion? How many dials do you think you need every day? And that can be confirming an appointment, setting up an appointment. That can be asking someone to sample. How many dials? 20 dials.
Yeah, I have a question. Dial or actually getting the
Even, let's just say a dial. Let's even go to our micro goal of dials. A day, for 5 days a week. 10. If you dial 10 times a day, every day, 5 days a week, your business will be exploding by the end of the summer. Statistics have shown, because, let me give you some other statistics. Out of the 10 dials, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, if this 2 rows stand up, this would be 10 dials. Statistics shows that only 3 will be home. So why don't you, all of that goes sit down. Only 3 people are going to say hello. And statistics show that, sit down, only 1 of them is going to say yes. So by your 9 or 10 dials, and this is proven in every country that I've spoken to for the last 17 years, that it's going to take about 9 or 10 dials to have 3 people say hello. And out of those 3 people that say hello, 1 is going to say yes to whatever you're asking. So let's even think about that a little bit more. If you have 1 yes every day, even with cancellations, you will have 10 to 12 appointments a month. Sound good? Yes. And it's that simple. But a lot of times we feel that we made calls. I mean, one thing I thought I had called everybody in the United States. And I called my friend and I said, no one is home. So when you hear yourself say no one, everyone, you know it's perception. You do not want to become a prisoner to perception. Don't become a prisoner to perception. When you start hearing yourself say that, that's why we started tracking our activity so we could really see. So I said, no one is home. And they said, well, how many times have you dialed? And I looked, and I only dialed 3 times. But I really felt that no one would, I thought everyone in the United States wasn't home. You feel like no one is home. And I happened to be talking to Todd Schaefer, who created the system, and he said, Patrice, put your emotions in the box, and put your box on the shelf, and pick up the phone. So, dial. Just 9 or 10 dials a day. It's breaking it down to very simple micro goals. And you can do that really simply. I also tell people that you want to make sure that you match your calendar to your goals. Match your calendar to your goals. What I mean here is, I was coaching, I do personal coaching and group coaching for people. I was talking to, in fact, she was a leader, and she said, I want to have 8 parties every month. And I was like, great, that's great. Give me your next 4 open dates. And she looked at her calendar, and 10 minutes later, I'm not kidding you, 10 minutes later, she gave me 1 open date in her calendar. So if you're saying you want 8 to 10, I would sit down right now. I would take your calendar, and what I do is I actually put a star on every date that is open to do Arbonne presentation, a one-on-one, a Discover Arbonne, and open those dates up. If you can only come up with 2 or 3, you either need to change your priorities or change your goal. You really got to match your calendar to your goals. Make sure you have those dates open. Now, the other thing that I hear people say is, well, I don't know that many people, because if that's 10 dials a day, 5 days a week, that's 50 names. So where do I come up with this? Well, I'm going to give you just a couple quick tips, and then also a book called Be Visible, and there's over 100 pages of prospecting ideas, literally from A to Z. So on the back of your page, turn it over, draw a hand like a turkey hen. You know, when you were little, I used to draw a turkey hen. This is a great way to relaunch your business, or to help your hostess, or to relaunch one of your new people. Okay, didn't know that would be that exciting. Okay, here we go. That's a pretty exciting run. On the tip of every finger, I want you to write an area of your life where you see people that you know their names. Like, don't put the grocery store unless you shop at the exact same time you know everybody in the store. But like PTA or the soccer team or church or a book club or like if you're, what are some other areas of your life? Church, some others? Gym? Do you go to a class? Okay, if you only can think of one area or two areas in your life, I guess you just need to get out a little bit more. Rita Davenport, who is your president, said this is a belly-to-belly business. You really need to be where there are people. So if you really are only thinking of one area of your life, think about what other places you could branch out. Okay, now that you have those written on the tips of your fingers, the different parts of your life, number down each finger 1 through 5. Just put a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down each finger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're not going to take time to do it, but think of the 5 people in each area of your life that you've not told about the product or the opportunity. Make sense? Okay, this is a real simple thing to do with hostesses because they automatically come up with 25 people to invite to their parties. When I launched, a lot of people, and when I relaunched, a lot of us like to sometimes relaunch a business. A lot of times you invite everybody that you know, right? What I did is I invited one person from each finger. I invited the person who I thought would be the person that might host a party for me. I invited one tennis friend. I invited one from church. I invited one from my sorority, one from high school. So I had one from the neighborhood. Does that make sense? One relative. So when I had my party, they looked around and said, well, no one's here from the neighborhood. All the neighborhood party. And then someone else goes, well, there's none of your relatives are here. I'll do a cousin party. So from that party, I branched out, and that's how I got all of my parties going. So just a real simple way to kind of branch out. One other prospecting tip is you want to, I think this is even number 2 on our list. Well, the second one is to be creative. And I love this quote by Bob Marley. It says, some people feel the rain and others just get wet. And Albert Einstein said, creativity is contagious. Pass it on. I want you guys to be creative over the summer. I used to do pool parties. I would go and then the commissioner or the hostess credit would go to fund the swim team. Or you could do it for, any group of people. So we were outside at the pool. I would do stop and shops at my house for people on their way home. I would do mother-daughter parties. So they would bring their daughter, or they would bring their mother, so it just doubles everybody that comes. So be creative. We used to prospect at the park with our children. And we would come up with, this is actually in my Be Visible book, we would come up with a scavenger hunt list. And it would say, find a mom with a child with red hair. Or find a mom that has 2 children in a stroller. And we would take our kids through the park with our list, and we'd say, I want a scavenger hunt with my company, and are you any of these people? I'd give them a list. And one of them said, would like to earn extra income over the summer. So we're out, having our scavenger hunt with our kids, and we'd come up and I'd say, I'm with my company, we're doing a scavenger hunt, or any of these, do you fill any of these categories, just initially? And I had this lady say to me, well, I'd like to earn some extra income. And I said, well, I would love to talk with you. Okay, optional closes, I do a lot of sales techniques. Optional close, I said, I could talk with you now, or we could make a time to meet, which would work better for you. Optional closes are great. It's kind of like dressing a toddler. You want to the green outfit or the blue outfit. You don't just say pick an outfit, but they think they're in control. It's like great with hostesses. You can say weeknights or weekends, or early in the month, late in the month, and they think they're choosing. So I said, we can talk now, or we can set an appointment. What would work best? She goes, well, I'd love to talk to you right now. And we sat down and she joined my company. So it was very fun. I went running back. We all had a time we would meet back with our scavenger hunt. And I was like, I want to do a great. So it was very fun. Think outside the box. Like actually think outside the box of things that you can do. And your products are great for doing things outside with your sunscreen. Anybody else just have something they've done in the summer they want to shout out? It's different, creative. I used to do a lot of corporate parties too, where you could actually go into a business, and you guys could do that with your fit packages or shapes in your bars. And I would go in and serve them lunch, like a real healthy lunch, and do a short presentation right during their work. I used to do gift baskets a lot too. Do any of you do gift baskets? Love doing gift baskets. I would deliver those, and if I had to go to the 4th floor, I would walk through the 1st floor, and then I would walk through the 2nd floor, and people always say, oh, what are you doing? And I'm like, oh, I'm delivering a gift basket. Yeah, I give you my business card. And they're like, sure, then this is the next thing. If you would just jot down your phone number, I'd love to give you a call. The word jot is magical. And so I go through the next, and then I would go through the next, and then after I delivered it, I'd have 5 or 6 more names of people that call. So always be prepared with your business cards and also ways to write that down. Which leads to the 3rd one, be visible. Nothing great was ever achieved without enthusiasm. You all are so excited about your businesses. I loved your, I was telling Danielle, I loved your recognition. You can just feel the energy in this room. It's just really exciting. So be visible with your business. I was working with one girl, and she goes, well, I guess I've kind of been a secret agent. So you are not a secret agent. You want to be visible. You want to have something with you that says Arbonne, like a shirt, a hat. I actually brought some necklaces that have inspirational sayings on them, and a lot of people now are wearing them, and when someone comments, this one says expect miracles. If someone compliments you, you can say, oh, I got it at my business meeting. And then they'll say, well, what's your business? Now, another tip, when someone asks you what you do this summer, I want you to be prepared. You have something that you say, just really quick. One of the best answers that I've ever heard came from a leader that I was working with in Canada, and she came up with it when people said, what is this or what do you do? She says, I plump your bank account and shrink your wrinkles. So, I plump your bank account and shrink your wrinkles. And then people will say, well, tell me more. And then she would say, if you would just jot down your phone number, I'd love to give you a call. So, make sure that you're visible, that you're out there, that you can let people know what you do. It was funny, I went to the grocery store one night, and I was buying my groceries, and the checkout lady said, thank you, Patrice. And I said, how do you know my name? And she said, well, your name tag is on. And I actually been to my meeting, and I forgot to take my name tag off. And she goes, well, what is that? So I shared a little bit with her, and I just said, if you just jot down your phone number, I'd love to give you a call. Took her phone number with me, and I got to thinking, well, that worked really good. So there were many days I wore my name tag around. And I was like, oh, I forgot to take my name tag out. And I go, well, what is that? So if it's hard for you to start the conversation, then have something on that's going to help someone ask you. Would that be easier for some of you to have people ask you? So think about those kinds of things and have your business card ready. And the may I give you my business card you can use anytime, anywhere. I had a consultant who booked 19 one-on-ones with just asking people, may I give you my business card? Very simple, 7 ones. When I was at my home-based business, I was at a party store, and I was waiting for the receipt to come out. And I said, while we were waiting, may I give you my business card? And she said, sure. So I handed it to her, and she looked at it, and she goes, are you hiring? I hate my job. And I said, well, just jot down your phone number and let me know. And we have telephone flashcards for those of you who don't know what to say, word for word. Arbonne specific. I used the flashcards, I called her back, I set an appointment, and the very next day she became a business owner. So real. The next one is to be focused. Oh wait, one more on just being visible, or I guess could be being creative. There's something called a 5-1-1 show or presentation. You have the hostess invite 5 guests, and each guest brings one friend, and the consultant is in and out, in and out. So you ask people if they'd like a 5-1-1. They just have to invite 5 friends. Each person brings one guest, and you are actually in and out, in and out. So that's just another just real creative, fun thing to do for the summer. People will tend to, they will come to events if they know that they can come in and out quick. So I forgot to share that with you. Be focused. I was studying what makes habits, like how do we create a habit, and one of the keys that they mentioned was we have to eliminate excessive options. And one of the examples that they came up with and they shared about was Steve Jobs. And I don't know if any of you ever remember Steve Jobs, what he spoke in, but I got to hear him several times. My son is a techie. And Steve Jobs always wore a black turtleneck and jeans. And they were saying that if you can eliminate excessive options in your life, that it frees you up to be more of a thinker and create a habit and just be more focused. So that's another thing this summer is try to eliminate any excessive options in what you're doing. So let's relate that to your business. What I would suggest doing is find a time where you will consistently work your business. It might be in the morning, it might be during nap time, it might be when you come home from work, but have a time that you consistently work. What you need to do too is to chain your behavior. They call it chain your behavior. Think of something that you do every day, and then make your calls immediately before that or immediately after that, and link your behavior together. I had a girl who just never got around to her phone calls. And I said, what's something that you do every morning? And she said, well, I brush my teeth every morning. And I said, for the next week, you may not brush your teeth until you make your phone calls. And she goes, well, I don't know if I can do that. She goes, but I'll try. So the next week, she calls me back, and she goes, that works. I couldn't stand not brushing my teeth. She said, I got up, I ran to the phone, I made my dials, and then I could brush my teeth. But what it did is it started chaining that habit together. So it created a habit of her getting that done every day. I have somebody else who chained and kind of linked the habit of getting their cup of coffee. So the minute they got their cup of coffee, they walked into their office to make their calls. So it became a habit of getting the coffee and making the calls. So think about this summer something that you're doing that you can link together to create that behavior and chain that behavior together. The other way you can eliminate excessive options is to have systems and have processes in place. How many of you have actually used the telephone flashcards? There's actually I won't go into, I don't really have time to train the whole system, but there's a complete system for the telephone, and there's 7 steps. I'll just really quick give you the 7 steps, but if you have a system, every time that you pick up the telephone, it eliminates the unknown and that fear. Let me give you the 7 steps really quick, and this will help you too to eliminate excessive options. When you open the phone call, there is an opening. So I'm going to give you 7 quick steps. Usually this training is 2.5 hours long, so that's why I'm kind of like rushing through a lot of information for you guys. So you actually can get a workbook with the CD, or you can order the activity management tools from Arbonne and actually see the complete presentation on the telephone too. But I want to give you these 7. The first is the opening. Every time you pick up the phone, if you would say, hi Danielle, this is Patrice Madison calling. So, hi, their name. This is your name calling. And pause. There's something magical about the word calling. So I want you guys to try to say hello, Patrice. This is your name calling. Ready?
Hello, Patrice.
This is your name calling. When you stop right there, I know it sounds funny, but it will work. You're going to hear yes, hi, who, hello, do I know you? But you're going to make sure that the other person is there. I was training this system a couple months ago, and this girl said she was getting her kids ready to get in the van to go somewhere, and she was yelling at everybody and rushing everybody into the car. And after she got them all loaded in and yelled at them and said, get your coat, get your shoes, she said to one of them, where is my phone? And the little one said, Mom, it's on your shoulder. You answered a call. She had actually answered the phone and was in such a rush, she forgot she was on the phone and had done all of that, getting in the car, while the phone was still on her shoulder. People are busy. And in order for them to stop what they're doing and engage, that little word calling, the pause, makes them respond. So that's step one. Step two, we call disarming. You want to help them to remember where they met you or how they knew you. You might say, if you were calling them at the grocery store, or if you were calling them at Sarah Brown's Audubon presentation, or I understand you're the principal of XYZ school. So you want to start with, if you recall, or I understand. So you would just say, if you were calling them at Sarah Brown's Audubon presentation, what you're going to say, yes. The third step is permission. You want to ask for permission to talk. You just want to say, man, is this a convenient time for you? Or did I catch you at a good time? There's only three things people can say. They can say yes, and you keep going. They can say, well, what's this about? You keep going. Or they might say, no, I'm really in a hurry, I've got to get somewhere. What do you normally say when someone says when? Or when, sorry, I used to do I used to do that when I was teaching. The teachers, if you ever do that, you ever spell the word when you do the spelling test? Yeah. What do you normally say when they say this is not a good time? Usually say when is a good time to call you, right? When you say when is a good time to call you, you're actually giving them control of the conversation. That's when your call goes really long. You hear about the mother visiting, or you hear about the dog, or you hear about the soccer party or the house remodeling. So when someone says it's not a good time, you want to say, would an hour from now be better? Say that. Would an hour from now be better? Or if you're not going to be home in an hour, you might say, would tomorrow at this time work better for you? Say that. Would tomorrow at this time work better for you? So listen to the sequence. Hi, Mary. This is Patrice Madison calling. If you were calling at Sarah Brown's Audubon presentation, yes. Is this a convenient time for you? Yes. You have three yeses. They're engaged, they're attentive, and they're open and receptive for the next step, which is the reason. And you want to share why you are calling. And it's very simple. And all of the reason steps are actually spelled out for you on the flashcards. The reason I'm calling is you indicated you might be interested in hosting an Audubon presentation. I'm currently booking the month of June, and I was wondering if early in the week or later in the week works better for you. Just ask. The reason I'm calling is, here's another one. The reason I'm calling is because you were so excited about Audubon, and I thought you might want to learn how becoming a consultant or work for a client with Audubon could benefit you and your family. I was hoping to visit with you for about 15 or 20 minutes, and I was wondering what works better for you, weekdays or weekends. The reason I'm calling, how many are new? This is a great one. The reason I'm calling is because I have just been introduced to an amazing anti-aging skincare system. I was hoping to drop by a sample pack or a full system for you to test drive for a couple of days, and I was wondering if a weekday or weekend would work better for you. Real simple, 2 or 3 sentences. If you use words like hoping, wondering, trying, you will have more yeses. And there's an optional close. Those 4 steps you can call to book parties, to confirm an appointment, to follow up on samples. Now, what happens when they say yes? You book it in your calendar, and then you can do your happy dance or eat your M&Ms or whatever you do to reward yourself. If they say no, my company used to have scripts. If they say they're busy, say this. If they say they don't know people, say this. If they say that their house is too small, say this. Do you ever get all the scripts? And I had them plastered all over my office, and they would say, I'm too busy. And I'd be going, and I'd be trying to find it. And I thought, my brain is too small for this. So a real simple, this is the next step, it's called the objection. A simple way to meet that objection is just to agree. So you either want to say okay, or I understand. Okay, this group be my okay. So here, say okay. Okay. And you guys be the I understand.
I understand.
I'm really too busy.
Okay.
I don't know very many people.
I understand.
I'm not a good salesperson.
Okay.
My house is too small.
I understand.
I've tried that before.
Okay.
I'm not very successful doing that.
I understand.
I think I know someone who does it.
Okay.
I might be allergic.
I
It doesn't matter. You don't even have to worry about it. You just sit there and you listen and you say, okay, or
I understand.
before I go, may I ask you one quick question? That's what you say. Ready? Okay. Before I go, may I ask you one quick question? Again. Okay. Before I go, may I ask you one quick question? I understand. I understand.
Before I go, may I ask you one quick question?
Okay, there's a little word you cannot put in there, but. That's kind of like saying you look really nice, but, you know, or I love you, but. It erases everything, so make sure that you don't put that in there. So I understand. Before I go, may I ask you one question? Do you know in the 17 years that I've used this techniques, I've never had anybody say no at that point, ever. In fact, I got a call. This is from an EMVP who called me one night, and she said, Patrice, she and her husband had heard my whole seminar, and she said, I made this call, and when the lady said she was busy, I said thank you and hung up. And she said, I went into my husband and I said, I didn't do what Patrice told me to do. And he said, well, what do you mean? And she said, well, when they objected, I didn't say that. I understand. Before I go, may I ask you one quick question? He said, you go back right now and you say that. So she dialed the person back and she said, I just talked with you, but may I ask you one quick question? This is the next step. The next step is the checkmate question. Checkmate question. It's named after chess. It's a positioning statement. It reveals a need. So you ask a question that's open-ended to reveal a need. And you've got to reveal a need that's greater than all of those other excuses. So she said to her, if there was one thing you could change about your skin, what would it be? And the lady answered, said, you're exactly the kind of person I'm trying to help. I'd love to share my heart on and help other people improve their skin, especially when it comes to circular meat. I'd love to get together with you for 15 or 20 minutes where we found a week will work better. And she closed it. And she called me back. And she said, it works. It works. She used every step. It's all written down in a little deck of flashcards. And she looked at it quick. This was an EMVP. And a lot of people said, well, I don't want to feel scripted. But you know what? The scripting gives you confidence. And if you can book 10 or 12 appointments in a month in less time and work less and make more, it might be worth being a little bit scripted. But what happens is that the mechanical starts to feel natural. And you start feeling natural, it helps you to sort. And we're in the sorting business, we're not in the convincing business. And it enables me to sort through the people, to find people who want to do business with you. And that's your mission, is to find people who want to do business with you. If I gave all of you a barrel of oysters right now, and I gave you 50 oysters in every barrel, and I told you there were 10 pearls in there, what would you do? You would open, right? Open, 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 open. Some of you are going to take maybe a year or two to open them. Some might take a week to open them. But what happens is a lot of times with people, when we get names on our list, is we'll just carry one around with us and try to make it. We take it to lunch, and we take it to our MVP, and we take it to our RVP, and we just keep trying to make it a pearl. But what we need to be doing is sorting, finding people who would like to earn extra income, people who want to look better, feel better. So eliminate excessive options on the phone. Focus on income-producing activity. This summer, as you're busy, one more thing I want to have you draw out. Just quick, draw a tube or a pipe going left to right across your paper. Just even on the side. A tube or a pipe going left to right on your paper. A tube or a pipe going across. So it's going to have a line on the top and a line on the bottom. I'm going to share with you the activities that pay you, and these are the activities that you want to focus on over the summer. On the left side of your pipe, turn it up so it looks like it's going to fill from the top of the page. Okay, you with me? Are you there? Are you awake? On the right side, turn the pipe down so it looks like it's going to drain down. Okay? So we're going to fill the pipe. It's going to come across your page and run down. Okay, show your neighbor if you have yours. Take a minute to look. Here we go. Okay, Danielle has a great pipeline, so we'll all look at Danielle's pipeline. It's kind of like teaching. You can teach. Okay. What goes in your success pipeline this summer and forever? What's going to go in your pipeline? People. So people to me are dials, and dials are dots. So I found this cute little dot. I just thought it was so cute. So because when you're tracking, and I can't get into the tracking tonight, but I fill in a dot every time I dial. So put a bunch of dots going in your pipeline. And those are people. If you want to put houses up there, you can put houses up there. What comes out of your success pipeline? Money. So put dollars coming out. So your business, simplified, is you are dialing for dollars, right? In essence, you're dialing for dollars. So what activities pay you? How many of you have heard of IPAs? You've heard people talk about income-producing activities. We coined that word back in 1997. These are the activities that pay you. Across your pipeline, put 4 circles across your pipeline. And think of these as joints where the pipe is connecting. Okay? 4 circles across your pipeline. The first thing that has to happen when you meet someone out and about is you make the contact. So the first step is called the contact. And that's when you use the 7 steps I just shared with you. You meet somebody at the park, you meet them at the grocery store, they jot down their phone number, you go home, you pick up the phone and you say, hello Sarah, this is Patrice Madison calling. If you're calling them at the grocery store, I just talked to someone who stands in the longest line at the grocery store, and she stands behind the most irritated person, which is really an interesting concept. And while she's irritated in that, she gets to talk to her, and she actually does put skincare on her hands. Does a little mini demo while you're waiting. I thought, that's really bold, but it works. So, if you want to, so, do you have a minute to talk? Yes. Well, the reason I'm calling is you indicated you might be interested in hosting an Armand presentation. I'm currently booking the month of June. Was what I a week and a week much better. Contact. You make the contact. 1 in 3 people are going to stay in your pipeline, right? 2 are going to leak out. If they stay in the pipeline, the next thing you need to work on, and this is another skill I can come back and train on another day, is called fact find. Fact find. You have to reveal a need. If you don't reveal a need, they will not make the appointment or they will not keep the appointment. If you are experiencing a lot of cancellations, anybody, I'm not going to raise your hand, it's because they don't see the need, and the minute they put the phone down, their emotions set in. What if no one comes? What about staying on the car? What are my friends going to think? You know, what am I going to serve? And then they wait till a couple days before, and then they cancel. You've got to ask questions, fact-finding questions. We actually created a process for that. It's on a sheet that has questions to ask, but they're open-ended questions. You want to ask open-ended questions. If you can improve any aspect of your skincare program, what would it be? What do you like most about trying new products? What type of skincare and cosmetics do you currently use? What appeals to you most about the prospect of being your own boss? What would you do with an extra $500 a month? What would be your biggest initial fear about running your own business? You need to ask questions to reveal a need. The next step is present. That's where you tell people about your product or your opportunity. And the last is the close. Last step is the close. That's what you need to focus on this summer and every day of your business. The contact, fact find, present, and close. And to be successful in this business, you need to have something in your pipeline. You need to have volume, and you need to be skilled. If you're not skilled, it's kind of like watering the garden with a leaky hose. It just doesn't work. So as you perfect those skills, you're going to be more successful. So this summer, you need to be making the contact, fact-finding, presenting, and closing. Focus on the important aspects. So be focused is the next one. All of our dreams can come true if we have the courage to pursue them. So use the flashcards to eliminate those excessive options. Use fact-finding questions. And the last is be committed. Patience, persistence, and perspiration make an unbeatable combination for success. So start simple. Do you have your goal? Do you have your macro goal? Do you have your micro goal? Make it a daily commitment. Create the behavior chain. And stay consistent for 21 days. To create a habit, you have to stay consistent for 21 days. And I also encourage you to have an IPA buddy. Have somebody else who's on the journey with you that you can make that commitment with. And then celebrate your success. And I love the quote that says, success is a choice. Choose to succeed. Focus, commit, and expect miracles. And I want you to remember, too, that sales isn't about hard work. It's about the right kind of work. So I'm going to just wrap up with that. I have a lot more I can share, but I know the time is running out. Any questions? I covered kind of a lot of things, but anything that, questions, comments? Yes?
Could you just quickly go over those last steps again? You said micro goal and this something. If you just do that one more time, please.
So the last one?
Yeah, just those last ones that started,
Okay.
Start with micro.
So be committed. Start simple. And I would really recommend using one calendar for the summer. Get everything into one calendar. And the calendar that I use and that I train to is called the IPA Tracker calendar. And you can keep your activity in it. Sales is about activity management. It's really not about time management. So we've got to get our thoughts thinking about activity versus time. So I would definitely use one calendar for the summer and when you're starting simple. And I always said success isn't magical, it's mathematical. So every day I actually can see my activity. Make it a daily commitment. Decide when and where you're going to be making your calls. I actually created a database. I found a lot of people were not following up. You would meet someone and you would think about calling them back. You put their name on a little piece of paper. Does that happen to anybody? Or it ends up on your floor of your car, and my husband's in the car, and he goes, I threw away all those little papers in your car, and I go, oh. So I created a database where every time I meet someone, I put their name in the database. I categorize them as a prospect or a customer or a team member or hostess. I put any information about them, and I put a follow-up date. And it's called the dot spot. And every day has a landing page where it tells you who you follow up with for the day. and it actually even has the products that they purchased all at your fingertips. It's web-based. We do a 30-day free trial if anybody wants to try that, but it is a great way to stay organized, especially during the summer when you've got those moments. Create behavior chains, stay consistent for 21 days. Get an IPA buddy, and celebrate your success. Did you get those in now? Do you want to pass those out real quick? I brought some of the products with me if you want to have the products to go home and get started. There is a basic package of tools that you will get the tracking calendar, and the calendar I just picked up from the printer, so it goes through August of 2015. It is the same, similar calendar that you have with Arbonne, except Arbonne chooses to not date their calendar. This one is dated, so it dates it all the way through. There is a workbook to show you how to use it, and it comes with an audio CD that will train you on the telephone and on fact finding and how to use the calendar, and it also comes with the basic set of telephone flashcards. So you have your flashcards to book your appointments, confirm. So that's called the basic package. The advanced package has the Be Visible prospecting book. If you need to add names, this actually takes every letter in the alphabet and gives you ideas on how to prospect and just creative ways A to Z to build that prospecting pool. It has advanced telephone flashcards. This is for following up if you need to follow up with samples. A lot of times when you're following up with a sample, you might say, have you used the product, right? You ever say that? Have you tried it? And they say no, and then you don't know what to do. So this encourages you with some other calling downlines, opportunity calls. Follow-up, I would say, if you would just grab your product, I'd love to walk you through the steps. So it's just a few different words that will help you to follow up. And one of my newest telephone flashcards are Hostess telephone flashcards. And these are all the calls to the hostess, calls to invite her guests, and a reminder call back to the hostess. So it's all the words that you need. We're talking about processes and how you all have a great process. By putting in your words, you're going to become comfortable and confident, and you'll know exactly what to say. So those are the hostess flashcards. One last thing I'm going to end with is I do personal coaching and group coaching. The middle package, which is called the activity package, I'm actually, every month, I run a 4-week group coaching for Arbonne leaders and consultants. It's open to Australia, Canada, US. And the next one is going to be starting Tuesday night, June 17th. You can see it in the middle section there where it says the activity package. There is a boot camp. It's Tuesday night, June 17th, 24th, July 1st, and July 8th. And it's at 9:15 your time. And it's only $50 for 4 weeks. And during that time, I'll help you be more comfortable with the telephone techniques. I'll help you with, like what makes a champion. We talk about what makes a champion, fact-finding, accountability, and it helps you be consistent for 4 weeks. How many of, is there anybody in here that has taken that before 4 weeks? Got a lot of you people. How exciting is this? So exciting. So you'd love to have you join that. People have doubled and tripled their production after the 4 weeks. It's amazing. So that will be happening too. Questions? Yes. Oh, question on voicemails. I use the same telephone flashcards for my leaving messages. I would just say, hi Mary, this is Patrice Madison calling. If you were calling at Susie's Arbonne presentation, you don't want to say this is a good time because I'm not there. The reason I'm calling is you indicated you might be interested in hosting. You're currently hosting the next 4 weeks, and I was wondering what week 9 or week 4 is better. So I use the exact same telephone flashcards verbiage for my messages, and then leave your phone number 2 times slowly. And that in and of itself will almost double your call outs. So
What would you say to like on the message?
I usually just say, please give me a call. I try them back in 2 days. I don't leave a message. I try 1 week later, leave the same message. So you guys have a decision, and that wastes so much mental energy. And you want to have that time to enjoy your family and enjoy your summer. So, and then after the 3rd time, you just have to make a decision. I usually put in my database and I call it that maybe the month. So I'm just going to end with 2. Don't ever quit, because you can be 5 minutes from your mirror. So thank you so much. I'll be up here. I do actually have some, and this is 2. They're inspirational. I have some that say miracles happen every day. Faith, love the life you live. So I have those 2 that are available up front. And I have all the other products too. So thank you. Make it a great summer. Thanks.
Okay, thank you so much, Patrice. I just want to say real quickly, a lot of people get totally paralyzed by the summer months. They think, oh, nobody does business in the summer, and that is totally not true. Carrie went into qualifications in July. Stephanie's finishing her promotion in the summer months. But make sure you do the belly business. We get lost in Facebook messages and texts. People want to hear from you. So thank you so much, Patrice. I've never bought anything of hers that I've regretted. So we're so glad you were here to share with us. And then we need somebody, if there's a burgundy Suburban, Chevy Tahoe, something. If you park next to a handicapped spot, we need to be able to pull out a ramp, and we can't. So if you have a burgundy Tahoe next to the handicap section, can you go with your car? Thank you guys for coming. If there's no one in here, that's fine. Thank you guys. Thank you.